Hello, everybody, and happy Monday, January 9th, 2017. Happy belated New Year's, and welcome to episode 2 of the Nice Link podcast. Today, we have a ton of things to talk about. This is going to be a huge week for anybody who's not only a fan of The Legend of Zelda, but for Nintendo in general. Thursday, for what is rumored to be a 1 hour presentation, Nintendo is going to give us a in-depth look at the Nintendo Switch. It's something we've all waited on for a long time. We've seen the preview trailer, a few months ago. We've seen tidbits, pictures, and an overwhelming amount of rumors on the internet. Just an overwhelming amount of rumors. But this Thursday, all of the rumors, all of the propaganda, and everything will come to an end as we will finally see the specs, the details, the everything, if you will, about the Nintendo Switch. But that's not all. As the very next morning, when we wake up, we're going to be watching a Nintendo Treehouse presentation, giving us a look at what we're probably all really excited for, even more than the Switch presentation itself, is what games is this thing going to have at launch? You know, some games are pretty much already a given. We are to assume, with the amount of hype, with the amount of exposure they've been giving The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that's coming out with the Switch. Now, while that's not official, Nintendo's not given that game a release date. Hopefully, by this weekend, we will know the answer to that question. What is the release date of Breath of the Wild? But with the amount, being on Jimmy Kimmel and, being all over just every piece of hype video and picture of this thing, it's along with Breath of the Wild. So I'm to assume that's going to be the major launch title for the Switch. I'm about, without even looking at any kind of spoiler or anything posted by someone or rumor, I'm about sold that that's going to be a launch title. I would actually be really surprised if it's not. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I've posted a lot over the last year about Breath of the Wild, and my expectations are, I'm not going to lie, they're pretty high for this game. Our last new Zelda game was Triforce Heroes, and that was last year, and to many, it was kind of a letdown. It wasn't a bad game. I don't think it was a terrible game. I think they could have executed the single-player aspect of it better, because it is The Legend of Zelda, and the Zelda games are, they're traditionally a one-player experience. But I know they were going for something different here, and that was the point of it. And it does have good online play. I liked a lot of the aspects of that game. But overall, it is a weak title in the series compared to powerhouses like Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess that sold millions of copies. So we're coming off the heels of a weak title. Now, our last mainstream Zelda title was A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS. And it was universally loved by Zelda fans and even casual gamers. I've heard a lot of casual gamers say they like that game because it reminded them of A Link to the Past, which was in itself a marvelous, beautifully near-perfect game. And so was A Link Between Worlds. Now, our last console Zelda was a title that was very polarizing, and that was Skyward Sword for the Wii. It's kind of a two-way street with this game. You can either go down one path, and it's loved, and people love the artwork, and they love the brilliant dungeon design, some of the best dungeons in the game, in my opinion, in the history of the games, in my opinion. I'm on that road. I liked Skyward Sword. Did it have flaws? Yes. I could pull out a flaw of any game I've ever played. Even my favorite game, I could pull out a flaw. And then there's that other street. The people that absolutely hate the controls. They didn't like the art style. Excuse me. They didn't like the art style. They thought it was a bit muddy. They thought, too much cutscene. Which I like. I'm not a, when it comes to cutscenes, I'm two ways with it. I like them, but if there's too many, and I didn't feel like there was too many. I've played games where cutscenes are 10 times worse. Looking at you, Mighty Number 9. And I don't think, another big complaint is the large amount of tutorial, which I will agree with that any day. I don't like any game that holds my hand. And Skyward Sword did do that a lot. Especially at the beginning of the game with like the hour of just tutorial. It's just like, come on, let me jump into this and let me go. That was a complaint I had. But we're coming off the heels of Skyward Sword, and it had those complaints from a good portion of the crowd. So I'm very anxious to watch to see what Breath of the Wild will improve upon that Skyward Sword seemed to fail upon. I'm really looking forward to this game for another reason, though. My favorite Zelda game is The Wind Waker. And this is coming from somebody who's 35 years old, and I've played every Zelda game since the original. Yes, I'm old enough to remember when Nintendo was a new thing on this planet. At least for video games. And the thing I liked about The Wind Waker is the fact that you could travel and go anywhere and do anything, and you could explore, go to islands, find out what's lurking in the sea. That's what I loved about that game. It basically took the aspects of what I loved about the original Zelda and other games like A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time and kind of combined them into one thing. And it made for just about the perfect game for me. For me. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, and that's fine. That's what makes us all different, and I love to hear everybody's thoughts on Zelda games. That's why I have this gigantic Facebook page dedicated to Zelda, and that's why I have this channel. That's something that I want to bring to Breath of the Wild. That's what I want to see in Breath of the Wild. I want to, and from what I can tell in the way they've marketed this game and what they've showed of us, that's something that they brought back. You see, the problem with Skyward Sword, it was very linear. Once again, I like Skyward Sword, and I play it about once a year. I play every Zelda game once a year, whether it be for this channel or for my own amusement. And Skyward Sword was a fine game, but it was what it was. It was a linear game. The exploration factor of just running around an open world, it wasn't there. Sure, you could fly around the sky and go to different islands in the sky and, get, heart pieces or rupees or item upgrades or whatever. But, there really was no exploration to it. Everything was just open and there for you to go to. But I really like the fact that they seem to be bringing back that core element of Zelda that we all universally seem to enjoy, and that's the exploration factor. I'm very interested to see a lot of the new mechanics of the game, cooking of food to keep your health up rather than find heart containers. That's neat, and it's a drastic change in a different direction. Because every Zelda game has been reliant upon heart pieces or heart containers and building your health bar up. And this is a little different. I mean, kind of, a little Skyrim-ish, a little more modern RPG-ish, just keeping up your health and adding a sense of realism to the game we've never seen before. I mean, sure, Link's had, a couple games have had apples or grandma soup or something like that, or you find a piece of meat or something, but not to this, extent. And I'm very interested to see just how this will work and how it will factor into the overall game. Some more things I want to touch on about Breath of the Wild is that we've seen a lot of stills of the game, a lot of, pictures that Nintendo has published on their Facebook page and Twitter over the last few weeks. And we've seen a lot of snippets and hints. We haven't really seen much in characters. We did see a character this past week that did look like Beetle. If you want to see that picture, you can go to my page and just scroll down. It's, I posted it a couple days ago. There's always a link to my Facebook page in the description of my videos. So, I'll be sure to put that one in this one as well. That way you all can, and I'll try to put I'll try to put a direct link to the picture. That way you aren't having to scroll down, because, we post a ton of things on there. We haven't seen a lot. We've seen what may be Princess Zelda and what may be Impa. It's a little hard to tell because, the face wasn't shown, and all you saw was like a body and hands. That's all we really saw. But it felt like Zelda to me. I'm talking about the girl in the blue in the last trailer that they showed. It felt great. She felt graceful. And she moved, kind of in a royal type way, I guess you could say. I can't think of the word I want to use. But it felt like that was Princess Zelda. And we've only seen, we haven't actually seen, we've seen some enemies, like the Bokoblins and the such, but we haven't seen Ganondorf yet either, which, that's fine. I like stuff, I want, Ganondorf, that should be saved for gameplay. That shouldn't be spoiled in previews and such. Part of the fun of the video game is getting to the boss and discovering what he is, I mean, if they've spoiled him in the past, but I'd kind of like to see him kept a secret this time. We've seen that thing that's flying around his castle, but, that may or may not actually be him. And let's talk a little bit more about, the Switch itself. Thursday, we're going to find out. I would assume we're going to find these things out. Don't take this podcast as official Nintendo information. I don't have no contact with anybody from Nintendo, and they don't tell me anything. I'm not an employee or an advocate. Well, I guess I would be an advocate because I play their video games, but I'm not an employee of Nintendo. But this is kind of like a few predictions. I figure we'll get a price. And the big rumor going around, the internet these days, is that it's in the United States, it's going to be $250. If that's the case, $250 is more than a fair price. I could literally go out and buy one right now. And, not really have to sweat, because, PS4s and Xboxes, these are $400 or $500 consoles. And they're ridiculously hard to buy. $250, that's a great price. And you're darn straight. I'm pretty sure they'll announce when and where you can pre-order. I will be literally the night before in line at my local GameStop, Walmart, or whatever I can get to pre-order that thing. Because I remember when the Wii came out and how friggin' difficult it was to get one of those things. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. The Wii U wasn't so bad because I was working at Kmart at the time, and I could just, when they came in, I could just snag one for myself. But Wii was fucking. I didn't get a Wii till like a year later. Like, it was that hard. And I ended up getting it at the most random place. I ended up having to cave down and get it at a rent-a-center. But $250, those things will fly off the shelves. If you think the NES Classic is bad, this is going to be worse. For like the first few months, you're going to have scalpers everywhere selling these for like $700 on eBay. And that's terrible. I don't condone scalping. I think it's freaking terrible that people take advantage of stuff like this. But they will. But don't get alarmed. Just like every other console, this is how it is at first, and then it calms down, and then you'll see them everywhere, and you'll be able to pick one up. I even debated myself whether I should wait, but I really want to play from the get-go. The specs, we keep hearing that, we've heard so many different things. We've heard everything from it's going to be just as powerful as the original PS4 and Xbox One, which that would be great. We've heard that it's got the Unreal Engine 4, NVIDIA processor, so many different things we've heard. And there's no way to know whether any of it's true, of course, until Nintendo tells us what this thing is made out of. And we're hopefully gonna find that out in 4 days. Just 4 days away. Me, I'm not like someone who's terribly bent over on graphics. But I do want this to look good in the same breath. I don't want this to look like, it shouldn't look like the Wii U, which the Wii U graphically was fine. It has some beautiful looking games on that console. I thought Hyrule Warriors graphically was one of the best games they had. Pikmin 3 was absolutely just breathtakingly gorgeous game. Yoshi's Woolly World looked great. There were so many games that just looked stunning. As bad of a game as Star Fox Zero was, I thought that looked good. Like, physically, that looked like really, really good. But I want this to be at least a step up for that. Virtual Console. So, this is where like 90% of the rumors that I've seen have come from. I've heard Gamecube console will be on there. Which, finally, we were told we were going to get that with the Wii U when they debuted the thing. Former president of Nintendo, Iwata, he said that we were going to get GameCube games and everything, and they never put them on there. They skipped over the GameCube and put Wii games, which you can physically put Wii games into the Wii U and play them just fine. It wasn't needed. So that's one of the rumors, is that we're going to get the GameCube game, and I've heard anywhere between 3 to 5 games at launch, which that's a good start. If I could pick 5 games to go in the GameCube at launch, I would start with at least one of the Zeldas, either Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. One of the two. I would do Super Mario Sunshine. One of the Star Foxes, preferably Assault, because Adventure sucked. Probably put Mario Kart Double Dash in maybe Pikmin 1. Yeah. Or no, let me take back Mario Sunshine and trade that for Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door. Let's put 1,000-Year Door on there. I like that game just a little bit better. But that's the 5 I would want. And there's so many games. Like when it comes to the GameCube, I think I have more GameCube games than any other console that I have. I probably have about 40 GameCube games. So there's a plethora. Because you still got Animal Crossing. There's tons of Donkey Kong games. Kirby's Air Ride. Luigi's Mansion. There's 3 Zelda games. You got Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Four Sword Adventure you could put on there. And I'm not going to sit here and list them. Metroid Primes, there's so much you can do. Other rumors that I have read, I'm not going to go through all the rumors because some of them are obviously bogus. I'm just talking about the ones that are widespread and have legs to them. Another rumor with the Virtual Console is Mother 3. And apparently this one really has legitimacy to it, as Nintendo has extended an invite for representatives that made Mother 3, the development team, to actually be at the presentation this Thursday. So that is, to me, that pretty much confirms that either Mother 3 is going to be announced, or they're going to announce some kind of collection with all 3 games, or something something has to happen here. I mean, people have been wanting this since that game was new in the 90s or early 2000s, whatever it was. So if they announce Mother 3, that's going to be huge. And of course, there's this rumor that a lot of people have been talking about that I've seen about the Virtual Console not having as many games to start out as the Wii U currently has. And let me explain something to you guys so you understand, because, not being game designers, I'm not one either, but, I do read things. Here's something you need to understand. When you release a console, if you try to put hundreds of thousands of titles on it at once, that's not a good idea. And it's really hard to do. And if they literally did try to do that, we'd probably be waiting like 2 more years for this thing to come out. And let's face it, they don't want to live off the Wii U anymore. I love the Wii U. I think it's a great console. I think they market it terribly, but as of right now, that thing's dead. And I hate that, because I like that console. And they don't want to live off it anymore, because at the bottom line is money. And they got to release this new console. And they got to do it as soon as they can, but in the meanwhile, making it a good console, not rushing it out. Nintendo doesn't rush. They seem to take their time and would rather put out something good than something rushed and crappy. Right, Duke Nukem Forever. I'm gonna cry. No, just kidding. But the Virtual Console, starting up with 5 games, because you start with 5 GameCube games, that's fair. You don't want to have to worry about, oh gosh, there's so many games here. You're not going to play them all at once. You start off with 5 games, and let's say you start off with, the big 5. Let's say you got a Mario game, you got a Zelda game, something Pikmin in there, something Metroid, and then something, oddball. Maybe something like Super Monkey Ball or Mega Man or something like that on there. That's fine. You're only going to play one at a time. You can't split into 5 people and play them all at once and then, want to demand more immediately. They put out a game once a week like they have been. That's fine. And of course you'll have NES on there. You'll have SNES games. Nintendo 64. And, if they keep along with what they're doing with the Wii U, they'll have Wii games on there. And this is something I want to bring up. I think there's going to be Wii U games, too. Because it's obviously not backwards compatible, which does make me a little sad, but I've got my Wii U right there plugged in, and it's going to stay that way, so I'm not going to complain too hard about that. But I do predict that they will port Wii U games to the Virtual Console at some point. Maybe not at launch. Maybe this will be something later on. Give the Wii U a little proper time to have its eulogy first. There is one more big game coming out for that console, so it's not completely dead yet. I think they're just kind of waiting to see there. But I think at some point the Wii U will be on there, because there's no disc drive on it. You can't put the discs in there. Not that I know of, unless, I'm not seeing it on there. Maybe we'll find out Thursday something about it. But I think that'll come later. I think Wii U games will happen. And I think they should. Because, people who didn't buy the Wii U, who are going to buy this, are going to want to play some of those awesome games that were on that library. I'm also going to make a prediction. This hasn't really been talked about in the rumor mill. I'm wondering about maybe a new version of Miiverse, an updated version of Miiverse for this. I'm wondering if they've got that planned. I'm pretty sure that'll be something that they'll bring up. I've always thought Miiverse was a fantastic hub. In fact, I like it better than the hubs for PlayStation and Xbox. I think it's the best one. I love how it's very Nintendo, of course. It's very cartoony, and I like that. But it's also very just streamlined. There's nothing at all confusing about it. It's like as soon as when I got my Wii U and I put it in and I went on there, immediately I knew where to go. It's like I didn't need a tutorial or to figure it out, or I didn't need to look up anything online. It was just right there in front of me. And I'm very anxious to see how things will look when we open up our, well, I shouldn't say open up, when we pull out our gamepad for this thing, or whatever they're calling it, the Switch, and we turn on our TVs and flip the machine on, and see what's going to be looking back at us. You know, what's this going to look like? That's something else. I'm pretty sure we'll find that out Thursday. Once again, just speculation. What about the games, you're wondering? You know, there's a lot of rumors there. In the initial reveal for the thing, we saw many different things in it. We saw them playing Mario Kart. And what was interesting, they were playing with a character that wasn't in Mario Kart. It looked like Mario Kart 8, but there was a character in there that we hadn't seen in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. So we're probably getting a Mario Kart game, you know, like an updated Mario Kart 8 game with new characters and new tracks, which I'm all up for that, because Mario Kart 8, in my personal opinion, is the best Mario Kart they've ever made. I loved Mario Kart 8. Terrific game. And if they want to give me more tracks, and if they want to give me more characters, I will sit and play and be happy and get online and kick all of your butts, because that's what I do. Mario Kart 8. Yes, please. We also saw in that reveal Skyrim. And as we know, recently, Skyrim got an HD collection. So, to me, if they're going to show Skyrim on their console in a preview trailer, that means, you know, that's confirming that game to me. They wouldn't show a game that they wouldn't release, right? I'm sure that's happened before, but not on that scale. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get Skyrim. They also showed, like, the new NBA game on there. You know, sports games with a video game console are a given. So there's that, and there's also been a lot of other rumors that Sonic Mania is going to come to the Wii U, and that's that new, I believe that's the side-scrolling one that looks really good. That's coming out later this year, and I hope so, because God, I've been wanting a good Sonic game for a while, and after Lost World and Sonic Boom and all the mess we had with the Sonic games on the Wii U, I'm really ready for a good Sonic game. I don't know about y'all. Haven't had a good Sonic game, in my opinion, since Colors. Then again, I haven't played Generations, so, you know, I heard that was good. But there's two Sonic games. There's also that one for the 3DS coming out. I forget what it's called. That looks pretty cool. And I'm not talking about the new Sonic Boom game. A lot, you know, just there's so many rumors coming out about these titles. There's this one kind of gets me riled up a little. Okay, there's a rumor that there's going to be a crossover, an RPG crossover between Mario and the Rabbids. The Rabbids are the minions of video games. They're annoying, unfunny. They came from Rayman. They're made by Ubisoft. And they're, I described it best. They're the minions of video games. They're just annoying little creatures. They have like mini game compilation games. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. I would rather have a Mario RPG 2 or a traditional Paper Mario game, or even an HD remake of Paper Mario and a Thousand Year Door. I'm just not a fan of the Rabbids. I don't know. Maybe they can win me over on this one. I always keep an open mind. I'm not going to judge anything before it's even announced. I'm just not a fan of the Rabbids. I think they just annoy me. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's, then we also saw in that preview trailer, I want to go back to that for a second, we did see something that looked like a traditional 3D Mario game. He was like kind of jumping and hopping through this little, what looked like some kind of like Western looking town. I'm not sure, if, I'm hoping it has nothing to do with the Rabbids game. I'm hoping that that's like a traditional Mario game, mainstream run of the Mario game, and I want it to be a traditional 3D game. Don't get me wrong, I loved Super Mario 3D World. I've put a lot of hours into that game, and I thought it was super fun. But I'm ready, for something on the lines of Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario Galaxy, those kind of games. I want something in that line. One thing I do want to mention is this, and this is whatever low-level Nintendo employee may be listening to this. Hear my call. We want a Metroid game. We don't have to have it at launch. But we want a Metroid game. It can be 2D. It can be 3D. We don't care. We want a Metroid game. That is all. I am very, very excited for these announcements. It's been hard being a Nintendo fan over the last, I'm going to say, over the last 3 or 4 years. We've seen some pretty bad decisions. And I hate to say it, we've had some pretty bad games too. There's been some great ones. It's been really hard over the last few years. The constant delays on Breath of the Wild. The lack of success for the Wii U. And other things that, games that we want to come out that aren't coming out. Previously mentioned Metroid. We've been waiting a long time for a Metroid game, and we got Federation Force, which nobody wanted. It may very well be a good game, but nobody wanted it. We've been wanting a new Animal Crossing. Instead, we got a crappy party game. And while it's cool that Animal Crossing has gotten some new DLC, we just want a new game now. Everybody feels like at this point there's nothing else we can do in New Leaf. I'm sure by now everybody's upgraded everything to the maximum. And pretty much at this point, you've filled up your museums and filled up you got caught in every fish and caught every bug, and there's really nothing else to do in your town. We want a new one. And the Wii U would have been perfect for an Animal Crossing, but we never got one. Got crappy party game. We never got we've waited so long for a traditional Zelda game on the Wii U. We've got remakes. We've got Hyrule Warriors, which is fantastic. And I'm going to make another prediction right here. And I think you guys are going to like this. Especially you Zelda fans. Breath of the Wild will not be the only new Zelda game on the Switch. There will be one closer to the end of the cycle that will blow this one away. I'm calling it now. I think it's going to be like the Gamecube. Close to the beginning we got the Wind Waker, and then at the end we got Twilight Princess. And I think that's what's going to happen on the Switch. Is we're going to get this one at the beginning, and we'll get another one close to the end. Because if you look at the amount of time that they usually put between mainstream Zelda games, I'm not talking about any kind of spinoff or anything here. I'm talking about like the main, story arcs here. And you look at the amount of time they put between those and the amount of time they put between consoles, that this makes sense for there to be at least one more mainstream Zelda game. I'm also going to predict another thing. I think there will be an Ultimate Edition of Hyrule Warriors for the Switch that will feature all of the DLC from both the Wii U and Switch versions. And I think they'll do the same thing with Smash Bros. Too. That's another rumor. It leads me into another rumor that's coming up that Koei Tecmo, the people that created Hyrule Warriors, are working on another Nintendo-based Hyrule Warriors game. This could be my ultimate Hyrule Warriors prediction, or it could be something new. I don't think it's going to be Hyrule Warriors 2 this soon. I know the rumors specifically stated that it's not going to be Star Fox because a few years ago, Koei Tecmo wanted to make a Star Fox Hyrule or Warriors game, but Nintendo said no, it don't make sense, and I agree, it doesn't make sense. So I'm anxious to see what IP they use for this. I think Mario would be kind of cool. Maybe Fire Emblem characters. Pokemon. I don't know. I don't think I want it to be Pokemon. Pokemon has like a zillion spin-offs already. I don't think we need another one. And that's another rumor. I'm segueing perfectly. That there's going to be we got Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then there's the rumor of Pokemon possibly Stars. I think that's the name that's going around, being on the Switch as a possible third title in this new gen for Pokemon. That's another rumor. I would be okay with that. I would also be okay if that's not true, because I've yet to even buy Sun or Moon. I need to. Soon. I want to play some new Pokemon. Just try to go through my notes here, making sure I covered all the rumors. I'm not going, like I said, I'm not going to do every single one of them because there's like 1,000 of them. Yeah, I think I hit all that I want to hit in this. Well, okay, one more is Splatoon is also rumored. We don't know if it's going to be a port of the Wii U one or if it's a sequel or what, but whatever. I want frickin' Splatfests back. We saw that in the reveal trailer, so it's to assume that something Splatoon is going to be on the Switch. And we'll find out probably Friday morning. Wrapping this up, I do want to thank everybody for listening today. This is fun. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these about once a week. It won't be the same day every week, but you'll at least get one a week. You're going to get two this week, naturally, because right after I get done watching the Treehouse stuff Friday morning, I'm going to make a second video this week with my reactions and my thoughts on all the announcements that we're going to get. And be sure to comment on this, and you guys can ask me stuff too. If there's something you want to know about, and if in any way whatsoever I can answer it, I will. And if your question's good enough, I'll even put it in one of these videos. So feel free to ask me anything to do with Nintendo, anything to do with Zelda. Anything. If I can answer it, I will. So be sure to, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. Let me know your predictions for this week's announcements. Let me know what you hope. What is it that you want Nintendo to announce? What games do you want announced? What specs do you want announced? That's what I want to know. I want to hear about you guys. I want to know what y'all want. So be sure to comment that. I want to know it all. Tell me now. Anyways, I have had fun. This has been fun. I will see you guys sometime Friday afternoon, right back here on Nice Link. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow, a new Donkey Kong Country is going up, and stick around for that. And I got some new stuff here for the new year coming up. And everybody, have a great day, and I'll see you later.